Hello and welcome to today's video on high altitude investing. So today's video is going to be called how to know when a Bitcoin price will affect any given altcoin price. So basically, what is the correlation between the price of Bitcoin and the price of altcoins? Now, quickly, just a couple inputs. You can tip me some Bitcoin if you like, scanning a QR code right there. I also have, let me switch to my computer screen here. I also have a Twitter account, and I post pretty interesting stuff on here, like the correlation of price between altcoins and Bitcoin. But yeah, so you can follow me on Twitter at highaltitudeinv. I also have a Discord chat channel. This is, if you go to my channel, you can see it in my links, but you can come on here and there's a really good community. They're always talking about stuff and their thoughts on certain ideas, and I'm on here quite a bit, so if you have something you want to ask me, you can do it on there. But yeah, let's just get right into this video here. Right now I have my day trade of the day, just really quick, is Bella coin, and I have a stop loss set at 4,600 Satoshi. So around this range I'll sell out if it goes that low. But it finally broke above this important part in the Ichimoku cloud, which was my buy signal. So I went ahead and put a buy in on Bella coin today. So how does the price of Bitcoin affect altcoins? Well, basically, you have to understand first that the inflation rate of the US dollar ever since 1913 has caused people to do what's called hedging their funds against the US dollar. So basically, they're betting the fact that the US dollar is designed to lose value. So they're just all betting against the US dollar. So it's basically the way that the US dollar is designed is people bet. It's like a race to the bottom. It's basically a race to whenever the US dollar loses value all the way to the point in which it's not solvent anymore. Or you can't use it. You can't use it as an actual means of transfer of value. Now that could happen. It's definitely not out of the scope of possibilities. Now, if you look here though, I have this little graph, and from the left to the right is the amount of volume, and then from the bottom to the top is the amount of value. Now I show here how if you have if Bitcoin is making one graph right here, if it's moving a certain way in volume and value, and the US dollar is moving in correlation to that in opposites. Altcoins can be moving in the same price or in different prices, and as long as the money is going from the US dollar into the cryptocurrency instead of from the cryptocurrency into the US dollar, then you're going to see an increase in value even if both Bitcoin and altcoins are increasing in value, because the biggest loser in that case is the fact that the US dollar is designed to downtrend. So you can have Bitcoin uptrending in value and volume and altcoins at the same time, or they can also affect each other. If you were to put this right here as altcoin, you could copy this graph and replace those words from US dollar to altcoin, and it would be just as relevant. So if the money is coming from altcoins into Bitcoin, then you would see the same thing happen to the value, and the US dollar would be the one not moving in value. It would be stagnant from that volume change. So let's look at an example of where the US dollar trend line might be. So this is what I figure to be. I haven't done any calculations or anything exactly, but this trend line right here is what I figure to be the US dollar inflation rate. And the reason I say that is because it's the lowest point on this graph that Bitcoin is willing to go before it makes a move up again. It won't go below this point, and ever since here in 2015 hasn't even gotten near it. It in fact made two more initial trend lines here, additional, trend lines, which it's been following. Now, that shows that the US dollar's value is going down, and which is to be expected, and therefore the value of Bitcoin is increasing in value, and that will cause that trend that we see here. That's what's causing Bitcoin to uptrend. Now, here's an example of, I posted this on my Twitter. Like I said, if you want to follow me, I posted this image on my Twitter along with this one against the S&P. So I look at these types of things, and I'll show you how to do this here in a second. But basically, I went ahead and opened the XMR graph and the Ethereum graph, and I put them on a scale in which they all look like they're the same, right? So even though, this isn't coming up to the $1,000 range that Bitcoin went into, it's in the same scale. So it's scaled up to proportion of movement. So whatever percentage change this was right here, this move in XMR, is the same percentage change scaled against it, in Bitcoin, so that the graph looks, so that you can actually see what's going on. Because, right, if we had this, XMR's peak was only like $20 or $32 or somewhere around there. I can look exactly here. But if you have the graph to where the peak of its trading, wow, Poloniex logging me out. The peak of its trading point, speaking of which, alert on Poloniex, change your passwords and reset your two-factor authentication, because there was a bug and it could have affected your Poloniex account. So it is a concern for your funds. So I would just update your security, make sure nothing bad comes from it. It's just a good precaution. And it's an important notice. But, the Monero, it hit $18. So if the highest point in correlation on this chart was $18, that's clear down here. So the highest point, this point right here that we're seeing, would have been down here on the graph if it was to scale, right? So that's why it's scaled up, so that you guys can see the actual correlation. So I just had to explain that real quick, so you don't think that you're not missing out on the $1,000 XMR coin sales. Trust me, I wish it was that high. But so as you can see right here, Bitcoin increases in value and XMR increases in value. So there's a place in which they're both going up. So that means US dollar was predominantly losing value during this period of time. Same with this period of time. Right here in Ethereum, we see this little spike up right here. That was the signal that it was about to make a move. And we also seen a spike in Bitcoin during the same period of time. So that's, that's good to see. Oh, and, so this is basically proving that one doesn't have to go into the other. For example, here, this is where XMR went up the same time that Ethereum was going up, even though Bitcoin was a little bit low at the time. So, it basically depends on where the volume is going. That's what's really key here, is pay attention to wherever the volume is going, because that's what's important. That's where the market capitalization is coming in. That's where the value is coming in. That's where the, when it goes up in value, it's because of volume of US dollars going into one of these, and not volume of Bitcoin. It's basically the US dollar losing value and Bitcoin increasing. But just because they're traded against each other doesn't mean they're always correlated. That's why I'm going to show you how to make one of these graphs right here. So yeah, Bitcoin went up right here at the same time XMR did. So basically there's a lot of things that can happen. It can go any other directions that you think it's going to go. So it just really depends on where the volume is honestly going, and that's your biggest factor in knowing. So let me show you how to do this for yourself. I'm here looking at Bellacoin right now, because this is the one that I'm holding my day trade on. I think that I could make some nice profits here if it goes as I planned. Now, basically, if I want to do this for myself, I go to tradingview.com. Okay, this is how you make a comparison graph. Now I search a current market in which I'm interested in. For example's sake, I'm just going to go with Ethereum. So let's look at Ethereum, and we can check it out against Coinbase. There's all these different exchanges, right? So I'm going to look at it against Bitcoin versus Ethereum. Now I'm going to come here to my livestock index features graphing. Now I'm looking at the 5-minute candlesticks. Right now we're trading above the cloud, and things are looking pretty bullish in Ethereum, especially since it just broke this high right here. So we'll see what happens in the next little while. But the point is what's happening against Bitcoin. So I go up here and I go to the top, and right here it says compare or add symbol. I click on this, and then I can type in Bitcoin or BTC, and I can go against the US dollar under Bitstamp. Now this will bring a graph up, and this graph is going to be the Bitcoin correlation between Ethereum and Bitcoin. So as you can see, they are definitely correlated. Some of the money is going from one to the other. They're making these X shapes right here where Bitcoin goes up past it. You know, so it generally looks very, very correlated. Bitcoin peaks out right here, and XMR hits its lowest point right here. So there's definitely something going on here. But if you go super far back, so let's go to the 1-day chart, and we just look here, and we look at all of the price. If you look, and let me just clear up one of my indicators here. Drawing tools. Remove all indicators. Okay, now let me just quickly go ahead and press compare one more time. Type in Bitcoin, since that's what I'm looking at now. If we look here, you know, even though the price is correlated and one is going up when the other one's going down in some places, generally they're both going up. So that means that the US dollar inflation rate has to be causing the US dollar to lose all of its value during this period of time, because the money has to go somewhere, right? So right here it's coming out of Ethereum and into Bitcoin, and just overall it's coming out of the US dollar into crypto. So that's basically what you want to be paying attention to and looking for. And obviously you want to be using these charts and graphs if you want to get a good indication of whether, you know, you nailed a trade or what direction they're going to go in correlation. But those are the things you have to pay attention to, is the volume, the direction which the price is going in correlation to Bitcoin, using the compare feature here on TradingView if you like to do this yourself. And that's basically what I do to know, you know, what direction is a coin going? Is it gonna hold strength against Bitcoin? Is Bella coin gonna hold strength against Bitcoin today? So, you know, if I did that theory and I'm looking at Bella coin and I throw compare in and I type in Bitcoin, I type in Bitcoin and I add, where is it? Bitcoin dollar Bitstamp. I add this to my chart. I can see that yes, they are definitely correlated. There's a little bit of correlation. It looks like they're both overall uptrending during this period of time, right? So they're both overall, they're both gaining value over the US dollar, but there is correlation in between each other's price. So I could say, all right, well, if Bitcoin starts to make a hard move down right here, then I could assume that because of the correlation that's happening, Bella may swing up because of it. It's also trading above the cloud right now. So right here, actually, that top line is irrelevant. So it's trading above the cloud right now and has a lot of potential to increase in value. This can now become support, the cloud. So we'll see. we'll see what happens, but those are things that I like to look at, and that's basically how I trade alts against Bitcoin. So I hope you learned something in this video, and like I said, just a quick overview, it's really about where the volume goes. So that's what's important, that's what you want to pay attention to. And yeah, so I appreciate your time. Thank you for watching. You guys have a great day, and as always, stay profitable. Hey, hit that like and subscribe button and share with your friends if you can. I would greatly appreciate that. Anyways, have an excellent night, day, or whatever time it is.